I want to move on to Colin Cowherd had something interesting to say. Not sure if I agree with it, but he basically is saying, hey, we all need to take a breath and be more patient with these quarterbacks and what we're seeing in the NFL. Let's play the clip and then we'll respond.
Employers are seeing a bad pattern from Gen Z. They've been called the entitled generation. Articles and studies describe them as not wanting to put the work in. But why wouldn't they be entitled? They've been staring at screens their entire lives, raised on instant gratification and unrealistic expectations. Everything should come quickly and easily. Anything that requires effort, swipe right, figure it out later. I tell my kids you're going to get out of life what you put into it, and that's all up to you. With that in mind, let's look at the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. What's been put into it? The league agreed to, years ago, fewer padded practices. The league decided let's shorten the preseason. Coaches decided let's play starters less preseason, so don't be surprised if offenses, which are based on rhythm, look awful to start the season. You reap what you sow, and for the NFL, there's been no sowing for September. The league had the right intention, fewer practices among big, strong men who collide with each other at high rates of speed. It's the right premise, a good recipe, but the downside is this cake does not look remotely baked. As the NFL season lengthens, player safety is invaluable, and that's what's most important to the league, the end of the season. More players healthy, more quarterbacks healthy. Like a hit TV show, it's best to keep the cast intact for the finale, because let's be real, that's when Americans, due to seasonal weather conditions, are trapped inside watching their product. When the leaves start turning orange, the NFL starts making their most green. That's what these first 2 weeks of the NFL have been about, and there's a lot of overreactions to it. But this was very intentional by the NFL. We don't want our enormous men hitting in the offseason. We don't want our stars playing at risk in the preseason. Expect the NFL to be a little choppy early. Don't despair if the product isn't quite up to your exact standard right now, as my friend Aaron Rodgers says.
RELAX. Relax.
It's part of the recipe. Let the cake bake. Allow for the preparation time and effort to yield the very best product. You're entitled to it.
That is an excellent take, and that's why Cowherd has been at the top of the profession for a long time. However, the argument that, hey, guys, you're just going to have to adjust. They've reconfigured how they make this cake, and, yeah, you're going to get charged November prices in September, and we're going to get August product in September, and you just got to deal with it. You know, everything he described is why I'm just dissatisfied. They've made all these concessions for safety, and they've weakened the product. And I get Cowherd works at Fox Sports, which is in partnership with the NFL, and he has to sell what they're doing. He did an amazing sale job of what they're doing. As a customer, consumer, I don't like their cake baking process. I think we get cheated in that process, and we end up with inferior product early, and while still getting charged the same prices. Not fair to the consumer would be my take. Steve, then TJ.
Well, I wouldn't argue with a single thing he really said in theory, but as you pointed out, he is employed by a network that is a broadcast partner of the National Football League. I mean, what's he really going to say? Man, this product really stinks. Here's the thing. If you went into a bakery and they had legitimate reasons why the product wasn't good, the ingredients aren't there, there's a slow chain command of getting in the flour and whatever else you use, and you have a cake that tastes awful and you get salmonella or just blatant bad diarrhea from it, you don't really care about the reasons why the cake is bad. It's just a bad cake. I think it is our job as the media to call it out and say it's bad football. And it's the right of the consumer to say, we hate this product. Jason, there were 3 games that I watched on Sunday through the red zone, so I get to monitor all the scores. There were 3 games, the score was 7-3 going into the fourth quarter. And it wasn't because these defenses were the 85 Bears. It was just bad, disjointed football. And when a Kurt Warner, who's generally a very amiable, diplomatic guy, who, by the way, he has one of these yellow jackets Okay, a little bit different caliber. When he tweets out, I had to stop watching tape because I was about to vomit. What does that tell you about the quality of play right now in this extended preseason?
The NFL's calling card, and one of the reasons it's so different than every other league is that forever they've tried to convince you can't miss a second. It's only on Sundays. You better skip church. Every second matters. And now they're trying to, after all these years, tell us, no, don't listen to that. The first month is actually preseason. What they figured out is with gambling, they can get away with whatever they want. And they're trying to tell you, like, do we actually have any proof that sitting guys in the preseason makes for a healthier league? Because for a long time there, we had way more hamstrings than we've ever had in the history of the NFL. Everybody had a hamstring problem. And so they keep telling us, hey, we got to pay these guys more. We got to play them less. No more preseason. I remember there was a running joke when I was in training camp with the St. Louis Rams that the starters would play one play in the preseason. One. They'd play in the goal line. One live play. And that was it. There no tackling. Nobody got anywhere near each other. Meanwhile, in New England, they actually tackled in practice still at the time in 2013. And so we're in a position where the NFL has had to flip on us, and like nobody notices. Either everybody's just too stupid, or nobody notices that forever you couldn't miss a single second, and now they're like, these seconds don't matter at all. Just trust us. We promise the product's better in the end. And they're wrong. Everybody's enjoying it less.
Southwest Airlines is going to seating. You know, it's not going to be open seating anymore. Businesses change. Businesses evolve. Colin, who fancies himself as a GM, he's gotten a little preachy for me, as much as I've appreciated him through the years. He sounds like he's more intelligent than everybody else. What's wrong with a business evolving or changing or going through some different periods? I don't think there's this big alarm going on. As an average sports fan, I like scoring. I hate watching defenses, you know, the way that they've legislated hitting. There's a lot of changes going on in the NFL. I'm not sure it's as bad as everybody's making it.
Gentlemen, do we have the box ready?
Oh, come on.
Well, that streak didn't last long. Hey,
It did not.
that wasn't exactly the Joe
Cut Butters'
DiMaggio.
mic. Cut Butters' mic. This man just said, I don't think this football is as bad as everyone thinks it is. Butter will be in the box for the remainder of this program. He was so good yesterday. He was so good.
Started out strong today, too.
He did. He really did. But Butter in the Butter box for the remainder of the show. Thankfully for you, Butter, we're almost towards the end. Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.